make a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling.
One flyweight Grand Prix champion, Demetrious Johnson. Thank you so much for joining me today. How is the weather in Washington right now?
It's beautiful. It's 84 degrees. Kids are outside playing in the pool with their friend. I can't complain. It's beautiful out here.
October last year, that's the last time we saw you in action. It's probably going to end up being the longest break of your career, out of competition at least. Are you enjoying the time off?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, we just went to Utah, had a great family reunion, great family vacation. And now I'm planning on the next thing I want to go do. So I'm enjoying the time with my family, and I'm not going to take it for granted. I know once things get back to up and running, I'll be back in the gym, training full time, getting to, try to win the flyweight championship. But right now, it's all about family and relaxing and working on different things.
Is COVID a big concern for you, especially with having a few kids?
No, it's not. As we look at it as a different strain of the flu. Obviously, when we came from Utah, they had so many cases. One of the family members had the whole family had COVID-19. They overcame it, but one person said I lost my sense of taste, I lost my sense of smell. One person said I was sick for 2 weeks, but they all survived it, and now they're giving blood because they have the antibodies. So we are very cautious wherever we go and who we hang out with. For the most part, we don't want to stop living our life.
Now, going into the training wise, how are you training? Are you going to AMC, or are you doing training mostly at your home?
So typically we're doing training at a field, Emory Ridge High School. And we get the kids together so the kids have a social outlet, which is very important. And then I'm able to run on the track, just run miles, run sprints. And today I actually went to a weightlifting gym. They're doing social distancing, and I have to call and schedule an hour for me to work out. And so I did that today. It was pretty good. I did upper body, chest, and tries, and that was fun. But for the most part, I'm outside running around doing laps. Tomorrow, me and my buddy are going to go on a bike ride together. So just finding different things to do. I haven't grappled or kicked anybody since February.
So AMC has been closed since February?
Yeah, because there's a fine that you can get if you have gathering more than 5 people. So with that whole thing that's going on, we're trying to do our best not to spread. I mean, you see a lot of athletes in different gyms. Gilbert Burns, he tested positive. Mike Brown tested positive. On Long Sun tested positive. I mean, imagine those guys who they tested positive and they're asymptomatic, or maybe they are symptomatic. Imagine before they found out they were positive, how much they spreaded it. You know what I mean? So we're just trying to do our best not to spread it. And so far it's good, especially since, I have no fights coming up. So why not take this time to enjoy being a family man, spend time with the kids, and enjoy myself.
You're coming up on 13 years in the game as a professional. You probably redlined your body many times. So this time around with the break, it probably gives you a chance to recharge and replenish everything, physically.
Yeah, you would think so, but I know I'm an athlete, so I want to be active. I want to be busy. So I'm finding, to push my body different ways with this, sprinting. My goal this summer is to get my 40-yard dash in the high 4.8 in the high 4s. I'm at 5.08 right now, so that's not easy to push your body to get that fast. And I'm still lifting, I'm still working out, but I'm not taking any damage, like getting kicked to the stomach, the ribs, the legs, headshots. It's basically no mixed martial arts whatsoever. I'm just working on being an athlete.
How much muscle have you put on?
None at all. I stayed on my safe diet, and I haven't put on any muscle. I think at the end of the day, for me to put on muscle isn't realistic for me to be a mixed martial artist, because I'm going to have to lose every bit I gain dropping to 135. I have no fat on me, so the first thing that's going to go is muscle.
Now, there's a lot of protests, rioting, looting, and, in Seattle, they had Chaz going on. Did that affect you any in your daily life, or just driving around or anything like that?
I don't go to Seattle. It's overpopulated and you got to pay for parking. Not about that life. All right. They can keep Seattle. I don't need Seattle. I just need my own little suburb town, and we've had no riots or protesting. There have been some looting, but other than that, nothing that's affected me whatsoever.
A couple weeks ago, Deiveson Figueiredo, he knocked out Joseph Benavidez. You sent out a tweet to Joseph Benavidez saying that he's a legend, and which meant you were most likely watching that fight.
Yeah.
Did you expect that fight to play out like it did and the result?
Unfortunately, yes. After seeing the very first fight, how he moves forward and how he's such a powerhouse, he can take a shot, and he is a powerhouse. He can hit hard, you can tell. And when he hit Joseph the first time, knocked him out, you can't really make adjustments in 2 to 3 months going into the second match. I mean, for Joseph, I think the best way Joseph could have handled that fight is he would have to clinch him and wrestle him. Like, don't try to strike with him, because he has way more power than you do. And when you have someone who can take a shot and they can deliver a shot that you can't take, 9 out of 10 times you're not going to win that standing battle. So he should have been more in the grappling department and clinching and just closing the distance, not giving Figueiredo that distance to knock him out. And he ended up, dropping him 3 times in the fight, getting his back and choking him out. So, and the reason I said that tweet is I know how bad Joseph wants to be a champion. I know how bad he wants to be a champion. But at the end of the day, a career isn't based on you being a champion. My opinion, a career is based on after you're done with your career, you look back and you see all the stuff you've been able to accomplish. Not accomplish, but be able to get with your career. Does he have a nice house? Does he have investments? Does he have to work ever again in his life? Was he smart with his money? If he is able to show all those things in his career, then I think he's had a very successful career. There's been champions in mixed martial arts, champions in football, champions in any sport, and they end up being broke, which to me, that wasn't a very successful career. He wasn't very smart with his finance. So Joby will always be a legend in my book. I remember working at Carastar in my construction job, rushing home to see him fight Dominic Cruz for the belt in WEC. So I'm very proud of Joseph, and I'm very happy so far what he's done in his career. So he'll always be a legend in my book.
Do you think, like the younger generation, they're too stuck on chasing the belts and not worried about their future?
I think so. That's my personal opinion. I think so. I think a lot of athletes are worried about chasing the belt, which makes sense. When you get the belt, you get all this money, and then with all the money comes all these other great things in life. But it's not about getting the belt. It's about managing your career the best way you can. That way, if you never get the belt, or when you do get the belt, you're able to make the right moves to set yourself up financially, not just for yourself, but your future, your children, and all that stuff. That's my personal opinion. You look at guys like George St. Pierre. He doesn't really talk about, he talks about being the best martial artist, but he also talks about the business side of it. And, he always says, I wanted to turn away from the fight when I was ready to, not because I had to. And I always keep that, close to me. Now that he's talking about he might come out of retirement to fight Khabib. But, we'll see what happens.
Now, one thing you share with GSP that I noticed is humility, man. Like you guys are very humble in your approach. When you look at your career, right? Like, is there anything that bothered you that still lingers?
No. Oh, sorry, 3 kids. No, not at all. I mean, I believe losses happen in your career. Surgeries happen. Other than that, I can't be. There's nothing in my career that I've done that I regret whatsoever. I think every step I've taken in my career has been the right one, and it's led me to where I am today. And that's it. That's how I look at it.
Now, going back to Figueiredo, from the outside looking in, do you feel like he's the most powerful puncher at 125, maybe in the history of the division, in the world?
No. In the world?
Yeah.
No. You got guys like Rod Tang. You got guys like John Dodson. You got to think about it. We've seen him display power against Joseph. But he lost to what's the guy? Deiveson Figueiredo beat him. And you see, and it's all about styles makes fights, right? So Joseph destroyed Deiveson Figueiredo, knocked him out, twice, right? Figueiredo got out grappled and lost him. So style makes fights. Figueiredo is a power puncher, and it was on display when he fought Joseph Benavidez. Do I think he's the hardest punching flyweight in the world? No, I'm sure there's a flyweight in the jungle somewhere who's fucking knocking down trees. There's always, I've always been honest about this. Just like Qui-Gon Jinn said, there's always a bigger fish in the sea. They just haven't been discovered yet.
Now, after that fight, post-fight press conference, the ghost of Mighty Mouse lingers, right? Like a reporter asks Figueiredo, you know, and your name comes up. At this point, you know what I mean? You've been fighting you know, you've had 3 fights there. You've won a belt. Is it odd to you, or is it flattering to you that they keep mentioning your name?
No, I mean, I don't think anything of it. I you know, if they want to mention my name, they can mention my name. That's how I think of it. I mean, I think of it as them, you know, building my brand. That's how I think of it. It's like I'm not even in a company anymore, and I still get brought up all the time, which is awesome. You know, that just speaks to what I've been able to do in my career in mixed martial arts. And yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is part of building your brand. Another thing that comes off of Fight Island the last weekend was the referee controversy that has come up with Herb Dean. Now, what was your relationship with Herb Dean like? What was your interactions with him?
Awesome. I think he's a phenomenal ref. I mean, at the end of the day, his job is to make sure nobody dies in there. So, you know, it's mixed martial arts. You know, either way, he is in a lose-lose situation in that whole thing, right? Guy gets dropped. He comes up. The guy's looking up at the other opponent. He's got his hands up. His eyes are registered, and then he takes another shot. So here's 2 things. You know, let's go back to Dominic Cruz versus Henry Cejudo. You know, when Henry Cejudo dropped Dominic Cruz, Henry Cejudo jumped on him, hit him 5 times. Ref stopped it. Oh, why'd you stop it? I was on my way getting up. I have to get up, blah, 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 blah. You know, do if you do, you know, he's damned. You know, he's already in a losing battle. You know, at the end of the day, the guy did take a big shot, took a second shot afterwards. And at the end of the day, all I can say is, you know, athlete, don't put yourself in that position. Don't get blasted like that. It's easier said than done. But, you know, I'm not upset at Herb Dean whatsoever. I mean, he's out there doing the best job he can, and he's always got to he has to live with that decision. Am I going to stop this guy from making money? You know what I mean? So, or am I going to stop this guy from getting blasted again? It happens. It's mixed martial arts. It's a risk us athletes take. It's a risk the refs take and stuff like that. I mean, did you see the one? A guy just got blasted with an illegal knee to his face. Shattered his overall, I think his face. You know what I mean? That's not the ref's fault. The guy committed a foul. So, I mean, anyway, I think Herb Dean's a phenomenal ref. I've had always great interactions with him. All the refs that ever ref my fight, I've had great interactions with them because I never put them in a position where they had to make the wrong decision.
Another guy is going to be linked with you forever is Henry Cejudo, and the King of Cringe. He wants to fight you a 3rd time, right? Do you think he would be a good fit with the organization?
I think so. I mean, I don't know how, you know, the King of Cringe would do. I mean, he does say a lot of things, you know, left and right to build his brand. But, you know, I'm assuming he would fit well. He's a gold medalist. And I'm sure, you know, he'll fit good. I mean, other than that, you know, there's not too much I can say. You know, there are things, recreational drugs he does that it's not allowed in Japan and over in Singapore. But, you know, in America, you can smoke pot and be, you know, upfront about it. But I don't know how, you know, one championship won. At the end of the day, it's up to them if they want him to come over or whatnot.
One Championship is coming back with 6 straight shows in Bangkok. Chances of you fighting on any of those events?
Don't hold your breath.
All right. Now, you know, there was talk last year that One Championship was going to head over to the U.S. and have some shows. Have you heard anything about any of that materializing?
Obviously, it was on its way to materializing with, you know, COVID-19 now ravaging the world. I think a lot of things have been put on the back burner. Obviously, we're still in this pandemic, even though you have fights going on. One Championship's back with no surrender, with Rodtang, you know, defending his belt. So I think once everything gets back to normal, we got a vaccine, you know, international travel, you know, allowed. I think you can look to One Championship, making some moves over in the U.S., putting a footprint there.
I think it would make sense, you know what I mean? Like, especially with you and Adriano and Eddie Alvarez and, you know, even Christian Lee and Angela Lee all living stateside, to have a show there, since traveling to Asia would be a problem.
I don't think it's a problem. I mean, at the end of the day, I love traveling over to Asia. It's like the last part of my career. I fought, pretty much 13 years of my career over here in North America. So me to travel over to Asia is not a big deal at all. I actually enjoy it. I look forward to doing even more. And being a foreigner, going over to Asia. Oh, it's fine. They know I got kids.
I think I said the wrong word as a problem. I'm referring to restriction wise, the travel restrictions.
Yeah, obviously travel restriction, that's still going to be a thing during COVID-19 times. But once COVID-19's gone, I think there won't be any more travel restriction. Get out of here.
Let's say you had a fight coming up. They schedule something. How many weeks would you need to get ready to fight?
I would do 8 weeks. 8 weeks is the best. I could probably do it in 6, but I always want to make sure I'm ready to go, so I have to give myself 8 weeks.
Would you ever consider flying over to Asia and just spending a few months out here to train and be ready to fight, since all the events will be here?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I like training in my gym. I like training with my teammates. So if I was going to do that, I'd have to leave my family for a long time. I would also have to bring my teammates over there. And I've just been comfortable over here. I mean, I've been doing this for 13 years. Don't fix something if it ain't broke. And then go over there to compete. I always give myself enough time to acclimate to the time zone, which has been working very well for me. And I also have evolved mixed martial arts in Singapore, which has been a great gym for me to train at as well.
In MMA, you've reached the pinnacle of the sport. You've etched your name, your place in history. Now you're moving over to esports. Is that the next step? Is legend status in esports?
No. I mean, I'm in the esports area to help, one esports do their thing. They've been doing a lot of great things in the Dota 2. Also, they got their esports channel on Twitch. So with that being said, for me, I like to build my name in that realm just by helping one esports and also streaming on Twitch. That's about it. I would never be on an esports team trying to win multi-million-dollar contracts or tournaments.
Demetrious, man, thank you for your time. I know you're a busy guy, and hopefully, man, they get these events popping off and they could get you over here in Asia so you could fight for that title.
Yeah, it'll happen, man. During COVID-19, we can't force something that that can't happen yet. It's going to happen as long as I stay healthy. I'll get my opportunity to fight for the belt, and then if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. I'll keep on fighting.
Hey guys, Sasha Platnikoff here, letting you know to tune in to SCMP Post Fight for all your weekly martial arts news.